Hi, my name is Jesse Ronkainen, and today I'm going to show you the basics of the JCAD amount material takeoff software. At first, we're going to take a look at the software's user interface itself. And once we're done with the user interface, we're going to take a look at the nomenclature and the classifications. Then we're going to take a look at the measuring by items and by templates. Then we're going to take a look at the cost accounting. And also, we're going to take a look at the AI and of course the reports and how to get the material takeoff to the Excel format. So let's proceed. The first thing we have here on our user interface is the workspace and project groups. Basically, every project is split by the year when you have measured and calculated the project. So for example, right now we're living in the year 25 and I have my project open here, an example project. So basically every project you measure and you calculate and so on would be opened under year 25. And when the year turns 26, you would simply just open a new group, rename it to 26 and open all the new projects under the 26 year. And left bottom side of the screen, we have the measurements bar here. So basically every single measurement we have and every single measurement we have created will be inserted to this box. So basically, let's say we would measure these light walls here. We would do them in multiple parts, and we would also have, let's say, 10 measurements here. And all the measurements we have the information we want to know from the measurement. So in the total quantities box, we would know the quantity and every single thing that is coming from the measurements, basically. Next up, we have the toolbars here. We basically have home, insert, show, tools, and print. And most of the time we will spend in the home section, which will have the measuring tools, block tools, classification tools, report tools, cost accounting, some utilities, for example, quick measurement, and some snap tools, such as in other CAD softwares itself. And also we have this insert block here, which we can use to draw basic lines, basic stuff from the other CAD softwares. So we can do drawings, we can edit drawings, we can add texts and different symbols and so on. Also, we can insert some dimensions, horizontal, vertical area. So basic utilities from CAD softwares. And also we have this show bar here. So basically we have multiple ways to customize the user interface of this JCAD. So basically we can disable or enable different tools. What do you want to show and where? For example, we can select properties and everything will be displayed here. And basically most often we will have the status bar, resources, measurements, and total quantities. Let's say you use two screens. So basically first screen maybe could look like this, and the second screen could have all these measurements and quantities information. So idea is to have a lot of screen and space for your measurements and the drawings itself. And next up, we're going to take a look at the nomenclature or the classification system of this software. I'm going to open up this menu, and here we can see we have, I'm going to actually resize this a bit. We have two different memory system here. Basically, we have this project, this basically storage or the memory of this project. And then we have the application, which is the permanent memory of the software itself. And under here, I have one example classification. This is a Finnish system called House 80, which includes everything from the groundworks to basically the furnituring of this building and the project itself. And about this nomenclature and the classification system, everything can be localized. We can customize anything. We can customize the standard systems we have. We can customize templates. And the thing we want to do with the JCAD is that you can have your own local or your business's own classification to do the measurements. So basically, you can import and file from Excel, for example, let's say. Then you can use it to be your own classification and do the measurements with. So basically you can import your own materials, items, and so on from your Excel to do the measurements with. Next up, once we have gone through the classifications, I think it's good time to go for the measurements itself. Basically the file I have here, the drawing I have here, the floor plan, this is from a PDF file. So eventually the PDF will be translated or converted to, let's say, the design or the DVG file. So basically everything I have here, all the lines, all the text, all the areas and so on, everything can be selected, they can be deleted, they can be edited and so on. So basically the PDF is converted back to the DVG file. There's also one thing I should and will do before starting to do the measurements. It is to check the scale. Once I import a file, the software will ask me for the scale to import. And most of the time it's all good, you should not worry about that, but sometimes you will face situations where the scale is wrong in the drawing of the PDF itself. So to check the scale, I will use the quick measurement tool. Basically, I'm gonna select the quick measurement, I'm gonna select distance, and I'm gonna show this tool 2 points. I'm gonna use this measurement here as a reference. I'm gonna click once and just hold my mouse over here. So as we can see, we have this 3200 millimeter scale, which is correct. And eventually, once I start doing the measurements, my measurements will be also correct in the right scale. And once we have checked the scale of the drawing, we can proceed to the measuring itself. So once I click the measuring button, this menu will pop up for me. On the left hand side of the screen, I will have all the items. Basically everything from my classification from the House 80, and depending on the classification you use, you can have your own items here also, with your own language, localization and so on. Basically in JCAD we have 3 different measurement types. We have piece, we have line, we have area. And every single of these measurement types can be combined with a different formula. The first measurement we're gonna do is a line measurement. So we're gonna look for an item, let's say wall, wooden light wall. Let's search for the wooden light partitions. We're gonna select the item we want to do the measurement with. We're gonna right click and select add to measurement. So next up we will have this item on the measuring template. And the software itself will recommend me the type how I should do this measurement. So the measurement type should be a line. And if I wanted to know the area of the walls, the formula would be vertical area. And also all the items I have imported here, I can change the label, the code, and also I can change the name. For example, if we had multiple types of wooden light partitions, this could be type A or type 1, whatever you want to use. And also you can change the formula. If you want the metric amount of the walls, you can select length and you can change the unit to meters. But I'm gonna do this example with the vertical area and square meters. And every measurement we do will be marked on the screen on the drawing. So you can basically change the color also to fit your own drawings, whatever you want to use. The documentation is always up to user. Basically, I'm gonna select the color blue, for example. And the only information I have to give to this measurement is the height of the wall. So for example, I'm gonna put here 2.8 meters. Then I'm gonna click enter and I can select measure. Next up, I can start measuring the walls from here. Let's say we wanted to measure this wall. We can click, and end with right click. Then we have to specify the first point again. We're gonna click, and right click. Click, and right click. And once we have measured everything we want, we can end the whole measurement with a right click. After ending the measurement, we will always come back to the new measurement menu and we can start doing a new measurement. So every time we do a new measurement, we would select new. Then we would search for the item we want to use, let's say floors, and we can use, for example, wooden floors or parquet floors and so on. Let's say we wanted to use the wooden floors. We're gonna select this item, add to measurement, and it will be added to the template we use. So the software will suggest us that we should use the area measurement, and the formula should be area, and we would get the square meters of this wooden floor area. We can also change the color again. We can change it to brown, for example, and also we can change the style, different patterns we want to use. We're gonna go with this one. Next up, we're gonna click measure, and then we're gonna draw the area we want to insert the wooden floors to. Let's say we wanted to do it to this room, so we're gonna click 1 point, third point, fourth, and then we're gonna just go back to the starting point like this, and it's all done. And we can do this again. Let's say we wanted to measure the wooden floors to this room also. We can click, click and right click. Again, let's see if we have one more room. For example, this. Click, click, click. We're going to go through the room like this. Go back and hold it here, and we're done. Then once we want to end the whole measurement, we can right click, we can close, and we can take a look at the quantities we have got. So basically every single measurement will be separated here. So we have 3 measurements of these walls, and we also have 3 measurements of these floor areas. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3. And basically every measurement will be combined to the total quantities box in here. And once we have gone through all the area measurements, we can take a look at the last but not least measurement type, which is objectives. Basically, we're going to go back to the measuring menu. And like before, we're going to select new measurement. And then we will search for the item we want to use. Let's take a quick look at the drawing itself. Let's say we have some kind of furniture here. We want to measure the amount, how many pieces of this furniture we have. So we will go to the measuring menu. We would search for the furniture, for example, and let's say we have this furniture for residential and accommodation areas. We can select and add this to measurement, and the measurement will come up as a piece. Formula will be no plan, and the unit will be 1 piece per 1 marking I have. First option is to use the measure. So basically we can do all these measurements manually like this. We can click all of them here. We can end with the right click, go back here, turn this screen off, and then we would have 4 pieces of this furniture. This is the first way. But also we can use some automation with this one. So basically we can delete these previous measurements. I'm gonna just select all of them. I'm gonna delete. I'm gonna go back to the measuring menu. And basically once we have the piece, we have no plan in the formula, we have the quantity, we have the pieces, we can use the measure by selecting tool. So like previously, we don't, for example, have to do this manually. We don't click the measure button. We're going to select the measure by selecting. We can navigate to the drawing. We can click, let's say, 1 line from here, like this line. We can right click. Then we will proceed with my keyboard button A, search for all. And the software will search for the similarities. So it has selected 15 out of 15. We're going to click OK. We're going to close this new measurement screen. We're going to zoom out and we're going to enlarge these drawings a bit. And as you can see, the software will look for the similarities. So every single thing, every same thing will be displayed with this marker, and everything will be added to the total quantities list. And once we have gone through all the different measurement types, I think it's time to move forward to the templates we can use. So basically, as we do this one marking here, we can do multiple measurements within one measurement. So basically, one measurement can have multiple items included. So next up, I'm going to go to the measuring menu. I'm going to select new, and I'm going to go to this bruise. I'm going to go to the templates, my templates. And for example, I have this really simple template for the bathrooms I can use. I can click add to measurement. And within this one measurement, I will know the area of the wall tiling, area of the wooden suspended ceilings of these bathrooms, and also the area for the floor tiling. So basically we can create as large as you want or as small as you want different templates to do the measurements with. So let's say we could have, let's see, 10 to 20 different items here, but as to keep it simple, I have only 3 items here. So basically everything is set here. We have the measurement type of area, we have the formula of vertical area, then for the roof, ceiling and the floor, we will have the area, and everything will come up as in square meters. We can change the color a bit. Let's pick light blue, and only thing I have to include is the height of the walls here. So let's say 2.4 meters. Then we can click measure, and we can start drawing the bathrooms here. First one comes up here like this, then next one, and so on. So every bathroom here will be separated, and once I am done with the measurements, I can right click and I can select all these bathrooms here, and all the total other quantities will be combined in here also. Basically, you could go through all these bathrooms you have, click, 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 and go here and so on. But with the JCAD AI, we can do the same thing again, bit more speed. So basically I can delete all the measurements I have. I can go back to the measuring menu, and this time I'm gonna select the AI. And now I have to specify a point or select area. So simply I can click the area like this and go through all the bathrooms here I have like this. And then once I have done all the bathrooms, I'm gonna right click, and every single measurement done with the AI will be just like I would have done them by myself. So the idea here is to get rid of the manual measurement as much as possible. And next up, once we are done with the measurements we want to do, we have a few different ways we can use these quantities we have created. So basically, we could get a report, a simple Excel or text-based format we want to do or create. And then we also have this cost accounting. Basically, we can give all these materials, all these items we have here, also the prices. So basically everything will be transferred to here. So we have the amount, we have the IDs, we have the names, and so on. And let's say we have wooden floors, and we wanted to know the cost, how much these would cost to make. And every single item here, of course, also. Basically, we can select the wooden floors. We can click add, and what kind of cost type we want to use. We can use material. We can add another one. We can use work also. And for example, for material, we can give this price, let's say 30 euros per square meter. We can change the unit. And then for work, let's say we can use 5 euros per square. And again, unit is going to be squares. So basically now I will have the total of the material and total of the work. And here I will have all separated in different slots and boxes. I have total costs per meter, square meter, then I have total, and so on. And basic idea behind here is to give or create the price once, for example, to the wooden floors. Then I can save it for the later use to the structure library. Basically, I could create a new collection. Let's say my prices. I can save it. And next time I'm doing the measurement with wooden floors, I would have all these cost information automatically here. And in the right hand side on the summary, we will always follow the total cost of this project. We will have labor costs, material costs, social expenses, profit risk, so on. And here we would have, for example, the total sum excluding VAT. And all things here, social expenses, profit, and so on, can be changed. And after we have priced this whole project, we can create different reports in PDF, and also we can export it to the CSV file. We can click create, for example, and cost estimation, and we'll be given a simple PDF of this cost estimate. Thank you for watching.